Welcome back to KETV News Watch 7's Chronicle. This morning we're talking about the Iowa caucuses and what happened this year with the results. More importantly, the road ahead. We're joined by representatives of Pottawatomie County's Democratic and Republican parties. Night of the caucuses, we actually had a crew at Fremont Mills High School. The precinct was where was left with an interesting way to decide delegates. Take a look at this video.
She's going to call heads or tails.
Okay. Tails.
All right, so it was a coin flip. I'll open this up to any one of you or all of you. What do you think? Is that a good way to decide delegates?
How do they determine who kicks the football and who receives in a football game at the Super Bowl, right?
Right.
So a coin flip, so why not?
Okay. Scott?
I'm just saying it's a long process of math to get to that point. It's not like we're just flipping on a whim. There's a long process of math, and when it gets to a point where there's really a final tiebreaker, that's what's used.
Yeah, this isn't unique. I mean, this
it's happened. It happened in 2016 as well.
Right. Marjorie, I mean, what was at stake in Iowa? Number of delegates and all this. What exactly were the folks voting for?
I'm sorry.
Number of delegates. I mean, you're voting for a delegate to go to the convention.
Okay.
And, yeah.
So, well, in our precinct, we had 12 delegates that we had to give for the. I guess we had maybe 9 candidates that we had to choose from, and so just the process of it. Is that what you're talking about?
And Scott, how many delegates did you guys have?
I think we had 14 or 15 in my precinct.
Gotcha.
I've reviewed a lot of these since that night. So,
I want to before we look at the future, I want to go back. I mean, what would it take for you? You didn't use the app,
no,
Scott. What would it take for you to actually have confidence and take that step to use that technology in the future? Knowing what we know now.
Good question. I guess it probably should be tested a little bit better beforehand than what it was. It wasn't because I didn't have faith in the equipment. Our co-chair Jill Shudak used it and was one of the people that tested it beforehand, and it worked perfect for her, and she used it on caucus night and it worked as well. I think I'm just old school. I've done enough caucuses and I'm familiar with the process that it was something else that I had to worry about downloading an app on my phone. So.
Gotcha. And nationally, when people, I mean, they don't necessarily think Iowa Democratic Caucus, Iowa Republican Caucus. They just think Iowa Caucus. So in light of that, there was a statement made by actually Mandy McClure of State Democratic Party. She said it was just a reporting issue that night. It wasn't a hacking issue, but still there's a question of confidence in the results. How do you rebuild that trust in the Iowa caucuses if you all want to keep it? I mean,
well, I mean. There was a paper trail for everything, and they went back over it, right? There was 23 precincts that they had to recount because a couple candidates wanted it. They went back over everything, and I mean, there's a paper trail, so I think it worked exactly the way it's supposed to work. It's just that it wasn't done as timely as some national pundits would like it.
Jeff, what do you think?
Well, I agree with our state party chair, Jeff Kaufman, when he said, you know, it doesn't care. I don't care how long it takes. Get the results right. And certainly, you know, there were some snafus, and we accept that. We're here in support of the Democratic Party in Iowa because we do realize how important it is for be the first in the nation caucus status, and we want to maintain that. We think we are very important in the presidential election cycles, and we got a part to play. So,
you know, there have been, as we pointed out, mistakes on both sides in the years past. We talked about 12, we talked about 16. David, in light of that, why stick with the caucuses if there's these mistakes? Why not go to what the other states are doing?
Well, again, back to why I think Iowa should be first. And you know, the benefit to having Iowa first in the nation is it's really easy to campaign in Iowa. You can be a presidential candidate and all it takes is a pickup. Huckabee in 2008 drove around in a pickup. All right, and that's what he did in campaigning. He bragged back in 2008. He won the Iowa caucus, and he spent, you know, $200,000 compared to the millions spent by others, things like that. You know, and one of my favorite campaign signs I have in my stash at my house is John Cox for President, 2008. Yeah, you're giving me that.
Yeah,
who the heck's John
Cox? Yes.
You know, and he came into Pot County, and we sat down and had had a little meeting with him at Tish's restaurant because he called up and said, hey, can people gather? We gathered, we talked to him, great guy. And he was actually out of Chicago, Illinois, and was coming to Iowa, and he's running for president. And I have his campaign sign. And after about 3 or 4 or 5 months, he was no longer running for president in Iowa anymore because, but he had that opportunity. He could come and do it. He was actually he was the gubernatorial candidate from California back in '16. He'd moved to California and had worked himself up. But, that's what I like about Iowa and why I think, both the Democrat and the Republican side, the opportunities that it presents for people, for candidates who may not be top tier big money candidates, they can still come get themselves known in Iowa. And the old saying, you got to punch 3 tickets out of Iowa. You don't have to win. You just want to be in the top 3.
Right.
And it's amazing how that can be a second tier person in October, but by the caucus, maybe they come out 1 of 3. Right. And that's why I think the First in the Nation in Iowa does that well.
Right. Scott?
I will just say you can say a lot of things about the Iowa caucus, but what we do really, really well is we vet the candidates really, really well. People take it seriously, and people come out. You saw the crowds we had in Council Bluffs around all the 20 different candidates. A lot of people came out and listened and took the role seriously.
But there are still questions about the anonymity. People, having to actually stand up and seeing who my neighbor's voting for. Your thoughts on that?
On seeing who their neighbors voted for.
As opposed to the Republicans, they have a paper ballot. You don't see who I vote for.
I just think it allows us all to. Sometimes it's kind of neat to see who your neighbor's voting for. You don't always know. You may not know your neighbor well, and then you get to kind of get a feel for them with that. And so I think that the caucus process is okay. I think that it's working.
It's more of a social event.
Gotcha.
In a way, right? A political social event.
Right, no, I understand what you're saying. Some pundits, though, they will say that caucuses versus primaries is basically volunteers versus professionals. Volunteers run the caucuses, professionals run the primaries. Is that a fair statement? To make, and should it be? Does it matter?
It's a fair statement. We were all volunteers, right? Everybody that ran the precincts and all the volunteers we had, everybody volunteers. There's no paid person in Pottawatomie County on the Democrat side. We're all volunteers. So,
do you think that should change at all, or are you guys perfectly fine going as is?
I'm fine with the way it worked out.
I think the volunteer system works because we come with passion. You're not there unless you really want to be there to do that job.
And that's the way we build our party, and that's the way we get activists.
Gotcha.
Get people active for the upcoming elections.
Jeff, what do you think? Why not go with what they're doing?
Well, I appreciate the Democrats' caucus process. It's fun to watch. I've heard stories about it. You can bribe your neighbor with a candy bar, or Ruth candy bar, or Snickers. It goes a long way in that voting process, and why not? I like Snickers. But again, streamlining on the Republican side has been worked as an advantage for us several times. Right. I'm going to say that for us, the ballot process works. But it is still a neighborhood get-together. Addressing why Iowa being first, we are basically a neighborly state. We get to know the candidates very well basically on a first-name basis. And I don't know very many states that you'd be able to do that as a candidate. As many candidates that come through Iowa. Okay. I appreciate the state. I appreciate our dedication to vetting these candidates and what we do in the election process.
Yeah. Well, we got to cut it off there. Appreciate y'all coming in this morning and chatting with us, and maybe 2024 will go a little smoother for everybody. So I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
Thank
you
for having us.
Still ahead here on Chronicle, a look at what lies in store for presidential candidates this primary season. First, want to remind you your comments are an important part of the show. If you want to be heard, email them to news@ketv.com. Love hearing from you. We read all the emails, and we'll be right back.